Hello my DigiPeeps, I am back, feeling better with my surgery in the review. I'm working on getting back to 100% and honestly feeling a lot better, but I cannot let last night's episode of Hawkeye pass without talking about what went down. I'm sure everyone's watched it by now and you're all probably just as excited as I am, so let's get into this breakdown of Hawkeye episode 5 entitled Ronin. This new episode was a little different from previous weeks. We open up with a year that needs no introduction in the MCU, 2018. Elena is out finding all the Black Widows still under their programming and is seeking to free them, as we saw happen in the 2021 film Black Widow. After a quick sit down with her Red Room alum, Elena excuses herself to use a bathroom, and she was one of the unlucky ones that was snapped away. I think my exact words here were, "Holy crap." Then, just as quickly as she was turned to dust, Elena returns to the same room, only with some differences. It of course being 5 years later. This was nuts. To see the snap as it happened to the exact moment when it was reversed through the eyes of one of the victims. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've yet to see this scene play out like this for one of the unlucky 50% of the blip. Still, to this day, however, it is one of the most important events surrounding the MCU, and I love seeing the effects ripple out through the heroes' worlds. We then of course go right back into the story, a great scene of Kate getting patched up by her very supportive mother, which just put a smile on my face. Kate is doing her best to do the right thing, and even though she has come home beaten up and worse for wear, her mother is right behind her. This then leads Kate to make the smartest choice I think anyone's ever made in TV or film. She tells her mum about Jack and the criminal dealings he's mixed up in. I swear I could have cheered when she did this. It was the right move. It was her only move in my opinion. We then move into a scene of Maya getting patched up, and this was great. Kate with a caring mother who supports her and raises her up despite being beaten. Then we have Maya putting on a brave face as her assistant patches up her wounds. Him of course telling her what we all already know, that this vendetta is consuming her and will most likely kill her. I truly loved the yin and yang of these two scenes. Kate and Maya are both a victim of circumstance. Kate was inspired by a hero to do good, and the exact same man has fueled Maya's desire for vengeance. It was a very unique and masterful stroke by these writers, tying these two characters together to Clint. We then, of course, move into what we've all been waiting for, Elena. The deadly assassin has infiltrated Kate Bishop's hideaway apartment to serve her macaroni. Kate Bishop, of course, is on edge, understanding she should not underestimate Elena, but she assures Kate Bishop that she would not hurt her. That if she wanted Kate Bishop dead, then she would have already killed her. Kate Bishop, of course, knows that Elena is here to warn her. She knows who she is, she knows where she lives, yet she has a very important question, one I think that has been the theme through this entire show. How can everyone forgive this Avenger after everything he has done? Clint has left behind a trail of blood that could wrap around the entire world. Yet, hearing of her friend's faults, her friend of an entire week, Kate is unwavering in her conviction. There was a great line that she gave that when you choose to spend your life trying to help people, there are going to be things that you lose. When you face the kind of threats that he has, there is going to be collateral damage. Elena, however, is unwavering in her own conviction that the actions of someone like Clint from his past has inevitably catched up to bite him in the backside. She then warns Kate that she's going to kill Clint and not to get in her way next time. This conversation, for me, was kind of the big moment from this episode and the real takeaway from the overall plot. Watching Kate's loyalty to the Avenger, the hero, her friend, and the unwavering point that Elena has been hired, a point that she caught on to, it was just interesting to see Kate undeterred of her faith in Clint and the man that he is. It was just such a great scene from the two actresses, growing more tense as it went on. Truly just amazing performances from both of them here, and it made this episode a must-see. Not to forget Clint, who has reached out to Grills, which was very good to see for his character development, in my opinion. This hero, he's not an island, he needs people to lean on. He has a place to stay with his firefighter LARPer friend that he has made through the previous episodes, and watching Clint just collapse on the sofa, the man's just tired. Again, going back to the grizzled old vet who's just been through the ringer one too many times, if you ask me. Also, a quick tease of his and Kate's new outfits, which I am praying we get to see before the series is over. And then some great news on the Jack front. He was finally taken away by the cops. However, despite this development, this scene couldn't have been more unsettling. Despite two officers there to take him away, despite being in handcuffs, this man still looks as calm as a cucumber. Insisting that he was framed, that this was all a huge misunderstanding, and him telling Eleanor that he will be back for her Christmas party, I didn't know if this was meant as a promise or a threat, but again, Tony Dalton played it with such a masterful charisma that just came off so incredibly bone-chilling. I absolutely loved it. Back to Clint, who has arrived at a plaque made for the first time the Avengers assembled in New York City in 2012. This again was such a great scene. Clint takes out his hearing aid to mute the hustle and bustle of the city around him so he can talk to Natasha, who has been this huge shadow looming over this episode, and this was just heartbreaking. The fact that Clint is doing his best to live up what she gave him, and he hopes that she can forgive him for what he is about to do. Very ominous and just making me look forward to the next scene. Kate, of course, who is still looking to be involved, is sitting in her room looking at all her trophies and her first ever bow, and takes this as a call to action. A literal call to action as she blows up Clint's phone with a whole bunch of voice messages. This was pretty hilarious and some famous MCU humour to break up the tension of this episode. Clint, however, ignoring these messages, is busy with his own mission and has sent Maya a message to meet him where she first met the Ronin. Maya takes this opportunity to try and get the jump on the Ronin, but this of course is too easy for him as he takes out all her henchmen and then moves into one pretty epic fight. Ronin gets Maya down and then takes off his mask to tell her that he is not there to kill her, and her dad's boss was the one who wanted him killed. This then leads Maya to finally start asking the right questions and starts looking in the right directions instead of being blinded by rage. Also, a great save by Kate, who swoops in for the save with one amazing shot and an even better escape plan, an Uber. This was just too funny. Then, as Kate and Clint are walking away, we have this great shot of Clint handing Kate an arrow, and if this is not a passing of a torch moment, I don't know what is. I think we just got our new MCU Hawkeye, and her name is Kate Bishop. All this, and we are still not done. Elena seems to have been moved by Kate's words and does some digging into who had her hired to kill the infamous Avenger. She does some digging and finds out that Eleanor Bishop is working with none other than the Kingpin. This reveal was amazing. It was incredible. It made me jump out of my chair. The Kingpin of crime, Vincent D'Onofrio. Oh my God. This is just It gets me excited for the future of the MCU. If they are bringing back someone like the Kingpin, and then of course we have the rumours of Charlie Cox returning as Daredevil, could we be opening the floodgates for the Netflix heroes like Luke Cage, The Punisher? I know the Mockingbird has been a name thrown around for the person linked to this Rolex watch Clint was after. A hero who has already been established in both the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series and also someone who has worked for S.H.I.E.L.D. back in the old days, just like Clint. It makes sense for them to have at least known about each other back when they were working as S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. I mean, could we see a return? That would be just, oh man, it's really exciting to think about. Gear up for the 6th and final episode, my DigiPeeps. All the pieces are in place for one explosive grand finale. I think it's going to be a fitting ending to this incredible story. As always, leave a like and comment on the latest episode. I would love to hear your thoughts and this explosive ending that they had. Subscribe so you don't miss out on my breakdown of the season finale. And before I go, I want to thank you for all your patience with my small hiatus. I'm taking all my medicine and I'm on the mend. I'll be back as soon as I can. Catch you all in the next one.